Hi, and welcome to the show. On today's show, we're going to do the first in my series of gear videos about what I bring with me for different kinds of jobs. This is going to be a quick, simple one on what I bring with me when I go to shoot an event, such as last week I shot a law firm's Christmas party. That was at a party center, a banquet hall event center type place. And last night I shot an arts event that was like a meet and greet with politicians, the leaders of different art groups, and then people who were just interested in getting to know. So doing group shots, doing some shots of the speakers, this is what I would need for something like that. I bring with me my, I'm still using my Canon 6D. Obviously this is the 70, the 60 is filming this. But the 60 is still, even though it's an aging camera, I think it's still great. I think the image quality is wonderful. It performs great in low light. Grandma likes it. That's the cat Grandma right there. All right, try to do something here. So that's the camera I carry with me and use all the time. I keep thinking I need something new, but when I look at the quality I get from it, anyway, I'm gonna wait till the camera actually is having problems. So the lens I bring now is the Canon 16-35 f2.8. It's the second version. There's a third version out now that's supposed to be even better. I didn't used to bring this. I used to bring a 35mm 1.4 Sigma that's also recording this, which is a brilliant lens. Grandma's back. But I found that sometimes I needed to get a little wider, and I'd have a group shot, like I'd be getting everyone from the event together, and where they needed me, I couldn't get farther enough back. So what I actually bought was this lens and this lens at the same time, used for a great deal. This is the 24-1.4, but I've just found I'm never gonna go to that kind of aperture, and even though the 35 and the 24 are stunning lenses, for event photography, they're just not necessary. And to have a zoom that could go all the way down to 16, and I could correct for the barrel distortion in Photoshop. This is what I bring now, and since I've switched to it, I've been happy with it. The other lens I carry with me is my 85mm. It's just a 1.8, but it's perfect for when I need the speaker shots from across the room, or if I want to compress, a little bit to get people grouped together, or try and get some candids where I'm not right on top of people. I don't shoot that many candids at events. I usually group people up and stuff like that. At events, people are always talking in a circle, and it's almost impossible not to tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, can I make your picture? If you try and do just candid at the event, you usually don't get very good shots. The other thing, my other main piece of gear is my 580X2 Canon Flash. I remember buying this and thinking it was overpriced, and thinking that I don't need all these features. I always shoot this thing in manual, and I'm usually actually bouncing it off the ceiling with the white card, as long as I have a white ceiling. I really like to do that and bounce with the exposure in the room. Usually shoot around ISO 1250, 640, something like that, and then use this at about quarter power. It recycles fast enough than using at quarter instead of full, and the batteries last long. But the one reason that I found out that Canon, it's worth buying their flashes, this thing is probably, 8 years old at least, and it is just a tank. It's all weather sealed. It holds up so great. It still works like when it was new. This thing was actually knocked out of my hand at an event called the Halloween Charity Ball one year, and it actually broke in half. And I super glued the thing back together, and it still works. It's a tank. There's a reason that you pay for Canon quality. It's not always just the technical innovation. Sometimes it's just the actual build quality makes it worth it. Besides that, what I'd like to do is I'll use backup batteries. Right now I'm using PowerX Medion. I've never said that out loud before. I usually bring 2 or 3 extra sets, you know what I mean? I usually only use about 2, like the ones that I start off with and then have to switch once, but just in case. If you forgot to charge something went wrong with the charging, double of everything. And like in that same spirit, an extra memory card, usually 2 extra memory cards. I never fill these. I carry these 64 gig ones now. And even with the big files from the 60, I still don't fill them. It's just in case something goes wrong. You never know. So 2 of everything. Always an extra battery. I have these labeled. This is the newest one I bought. I have the one that came with the 60 labeled, the one that came with the 70 labeled. Then I I know, the older they are, the less they last. So I kind of like, and I keep rotating them to kind of, drain them down, charge them. That's what's best for them. My bag is this Domkey messenger bag, and it is amazing. I have carried this thing daily for years, and even though it's looking a little ragged now, it's just an absolutely top-notch quality. You pay for it, but it's worth it. You've got the brass fittings, this thick canvas. I love this bag. I'll probably buy this bag again when it finally does wear through, but that could be a while. Always extra business cards, shooting an event, that's always I always come away with more business from events. I end up shooting portraits or, product shots by meeting people at the events I shoot. So besides that, the other thing is, in the same way I was saying, I bring 2 of everything. I also, what I'll do is like I said, throw some of the lenses that, I don't use very much in the bag though, just in case there's some reason I feel like I need the quality of one of those lenses. An extra flash. This is my 430EX. I think this is the first flash I bought. Yeah, it's beat up a little bit. It works well. Something happens. Like I said, the time this got knocked out of my hand, I threw this on the camera, was able to keep going. The other thing I carry with me is I bought a Rebel T5 last year on Black Friday. It was a cheap one, but I think I paid $200 for it. But it's the same thing. Something happens to my camera, I don't want to have to shoot it with the Rebel, but it's better than nothing. It's better than my phone. Speaking of which, you never forget your phone. Got to Instagram that you're working or it didn't happen, right? And so that's about it. So it's a pretty simple setup for me. Just really on my back, I only have the 2 lenses, the flashes on the camera, and then just the 2 of everything in the bag, and then usually leave the second bag out in the car. And if I have to run out for it, for some reason, thank God it hasn't happened yet, besides with the flash that one time. The other thing I want to do, as you notice we have sitting here, is a Frosted Frog by Hop and Frog Brewery. And, it's the Christmas season, and this YouTube channel actually started out as a beer review channel. So figured in honor of that, might as well have a little holiday cheers. Man, you better like cinnamon if you want to drink this beer. This is a very cinnamon-forward drink. I really like it. I get one every year at least. It's a strong one. It's a sweet cinnamony beer. I give it an A. Happy holidays. See you next week.